What's up YouTube, Maze here, and today we get to finally take a peek and a glimpse into the future of Diablo 4. Remember to follow the channel if you want to stay up to date on all the great gaming mods for Skyrim, Fallout 4, Cyberpunk, and yes, the upcoming Starfield, as well as RPGs and open world gaming news. So grab yourself a coffee, sit back, and enjoy. Yesterday, we had the long-awaited Diablo devs live stream where they gave the release date as well as what things we can expect going into this first season of Diablo 4. And overall, I thought this was a pretty good, it was a decent dev stream, though I wasn't the least bit interested in the plug for Diablo Immortal. That took up almost, the first 20 minutes? But it made sense for them to slip it in and try to plug the game, and it seems that going forward, they want to do more of these dev updates and make them a more regular thing, and during these, they will be featuring Diablo 4, Diablo 3, and Diablo Immortal. Now, on to Diablo 4. Season 1 will be starting July 20th. This was of course the big news everyone was waiting to hear, with the complaining about the endgame and not having enough to do in the game's opening campaign. Players aren't going to have to wait long now to dive into new quests, story, game mechanics, and fresh new content. You will need to first complete the game's campaign, and all of our characters will be put onto what's called the Eternal Realm, and going forward, all seasonal characters at the end of each season will be moved over to the Eternal Realm as well. There'll be things that carry over to our characters from season to season, from the campaign to season 1, which I'll get into here in a moment, and then there's going to be things that will not carry over and we will need to farm again or reacquire. And that just makes sense, and overall it seems they've found an okay balance between the two. Remember, this is the first season and they're going to learn and adjust from season to season, so have fun and enjoy, and know that the game is going to be modified from season to season based on what works. And now to the big changes and what to expect. First, they announced patch 104 would be going live shortly after the stream yesterday. So let's look at this, which was mostly a series of hotfixes for quests and some combat bugs, some gameplay issues, UI things, and just general bugs that they found. They said going forward that they have a system in place so they can slip hotfixes in much more quickly and not have to always wait for patch updates to do so. So what all did patch 104 do? Well, it lowered the health pools of 3 bosses, Vendar, Brawl, Kyrich. Helltide chests now drop unique items, and they raised the cap on crafting materials from 9,999 all the way up to 99,999. So for me, and those of you that saw how fast we started building up these crafting materials by playing multiple classes, this is just a good thing. We get to let that all stockpile, not have to worry about capping out on it, and we can just use them whenever we need to use them. On the UI side, just a bunch of different things. The QR code was resized for console players, which sounds like it was pretty annoying since this is what they use to, for account linking, pretty much. There was a series of other fixes. The weekly reward cache will no longer show up as available after having been completed. Stacks showing wrong when you were trying to trade with people if you were trying to use a controller. Skill buttons, glyph tab issues. Console players having issues navigating the shop, legendary aspects being displayed wrong, just all kinds of things that were annoying issues and bugs found within the game's menu system. And another fix, which for me has been my biggest complaint while playing the game, again, I've had a lot of fun with the game, but these quest bugs are super annoying. There's nothing more annoying than grinding out a long side quest chain only to get stuck because one of the events or NPCs becomes bugged and things begin to not trigger. So they took the time and they did hotfix the following quests. We have the Blind Eye, Mother's Judgment, Mirage, and A Witch in the Wastes. Along with this, they fixed various other quest issues. One of these issues was happening when you were on just various quests. If you teleported back to town during certain stages and then tried to teleport back, you would return and something with the quest would be bugged. And I assume that this was happening because we were zoning out and then back into the area while the quest was trying to run events. So hopefully those things are all fixed now. They also took the time to fix some issues that were found within dungeons, things not triggering. There was one dungeon where there were supposed to be 3 or 5 NPCs to find, but one of them wasn't in there. It was just not there. So they fixed little things like that. The dungeons that were addressed were the Forgotten Depths, Cultist Refuge, Howling Warren, and Lubin's Rest. And again, these were glaring issues, and I ran into probably 90% of these while leveling my 3 characters, so this is something that I'm glad to see them fixing, and something that really did need fixed before they introduced new quests, dungeons, and stories to begin Season 1. And changes for combat, we have fixes to the damage multiplier for the Frozen Orb, which wasn't applying correctly. Enemies with the Vortex affix would deal damage through immunity. The Elixir of Expertise was reducing resource cost by 10% instead of 20%. There's damage bonus from the Paragon Subdue Glyph would be applied to any target instead of only those that were vulnerable. Barbarian's Whirlwind ability would briefly stop channeling when a cooldown skill was cast while using. Let's see what else. There's guaranteed overpower buff from the Barbarian's Earthstriker's Aspect would be consumed upon gaining any other buff, so it would just go away. Issues where the player's character would freeze when using the Rogue's Shadow Step skill if used outside the range of your intended target. That one was super annoying. Fix an issue where players could not rotate when casting a channeled skill if using a one-hand weapon but not carrying an offhand. Issues with the Cursed Scrolls having an incorrect cooldown. And what else? As I look down through here, the Necromancer's Shadow Mages should now correctly apply the extra shadow damage through the Shadow Blight key passive. So yeah, that's pretty much patch 1.04, and this patch is exactly what I expected. As I had said in the previous video, this campaign in a lot of ways is the beta test for Season 1, a campaign for us to chill, enjoy, play solo, play with friends, and while playing, help them find and sort out all the bugs and balances before Season 1 finally goes live. And now on to Season 1. We'll begin on July 20th and will run for about 3 months. The pre-patch for a season should begin patching on July 18th. Yes, you will be starting a fresh new character for this season as well as every season to follow. And this will take place after the events of the campaign, so completing the campaign first is a requirement. And that big question, what progress is going to carry over to these new characters? But many things will carry over when you start your new journey in the season servers. These include all of your transmog appearances, your mounts, discovery of all the altars of Lillith, as well as their bonuses, and yes, regional renown will carry over. You also have the fast teleport unlocked in all 5 of the capitals, but I do believe that you are going to have to go out and get the smaller teleports that are located in the little towns and the little areas that you find out and around the main capitals. Things that won't are those that I had already kind of expected, and that's obviously your character's experience, your items, your gear, gold, and the aspects that are found in our Codex of Power. Those are all going to need to be farmed and reacquired. And again, it makes sense that these are the main progression for the game's power grind. I already expected that these would need to be freshly acquired with the start of each new season, and I also expect that there will be changes, and there may even be new aspects added for us to find and unlock. We have to have something to do during our rise in power, so these just make sense to be new and to make us go out and reacquire them at the start of each season. So we start Season 1 and find ourselves in Sanctuary after the events of Lilith as a new threat looms, Malignant. This will be explained as the story begins and we meet a former priest named Cormon, who is or will be setting out to try and stop the spread of this corruption of malignancy that is infecting humans and creatures throughout Sanctuary. This infection will be the basis for the season's new mechanic, the Malignant Hearts. These hearts will come in 3 colors and match slots found in our rings and other jewelry. So like the legendary gems we saw in Reaper of Souls for Diablo 3, I feel like it's kind of similar to that. These allow us to acquire new buffs, and the devs said that they will open up a chance to test and discover new powerful builds for every class in the game. And how do we get these Malignant Hearts, you ask? Well, we track down new elites, we kill them, we use a cage of binding on their corrupted, dirty hearts, causing them to respawn again as a more deadly enemy, and then defeat their new form to acquire the heart. And this system sounds okay. Like, I don't really have any problems with it. The devs said that there will be 32 types of Malignant Hearts in Season 1, as well as various rings and jewelry with the slots needed. So it sounds like we will have to not only find and grind the right color for the hearts and the stats that we want, but we'll also have to grind out and find the various rings and jewelry that have the color slotted into it for the piece that we want. So I guess the first thing I'll be saving up for is opening up all my storage slots in Season 1. So yeah, there we have it. I think all of those things make sense. There's still more info out there on, how the battle pass is going to work, so I might do a video on that as well. But for now, everybody stay safe, enjoy, and I will see you all in the next video.